got a couple of things on my mind. They weren't on my mind when I initially did the first video about the ongoing Taylor saga, but they are now. First, let's talk about this office manager who, when you look her up, is a paralegal. In my opinion, the esteem of being a paralegal is much higher than just being someone who fills pens and paper and whiteout and takes some phone calls. Not to say that's not important, but being a paralegal, there's much more esteem in that, right? She's being called an office manager. Secondly, let's talk about tax liability. So on $3,000, you're roughly paying the tax liability of $1,000, close to $1,000, right? So are we to believe that the office manager is going to take the hit on the tax liability for this retainer, and the lawyer is also going to take the same hit on the tax liability for the same $2,500? If it doesn't make dollars to a lawyer, it doesn't make sense. So now, let's say it's a third. So now on $2,500, you're paying almost $1,000 twice. Or is she going to draw out the $2,500, take the hit on the tax liability for her boss, and then he's going to take the retainer, the $2,500, and either pay her tax liability or not pay his tax liability, which is unethical, right? Now, let's go a little bit further with the ethics, right? You now have a lawyer who is going to help with the logistics of filing a complaint on behalf of an alleged victim, when every single day his job is, to the best of his ethical ability, to make sure someone like Cattle King gets off the hook. He gets paid Monday through Friday to keep sex offenders out of jail. Now, all of a sudden, the office manager is going to take a little money on behalf of this attorney to put one in jail. Where's the ethics in any of this? Now, also understanding that with lawyers, ethics are a real issue, because so many defense attorneys who once were a long arm of the law will use the fact that, oh, well, I'm a free world attorney. I'm a defense attorney with, let's say, 10 years of prosecutorial or DA duties under my belt. That's not a flex, my boy. What that means is you have a problem with your ethics. You should have started out as a defense attorney or remained a long arm of the law, because at a point when you're working to advocate for victims as a representative of the state, you are trying to put offenders in prison. Then all of a sudden it's a monetary issue, and now you're taking money to keep the very same people you wish to put in prison, to keep them on the streets. None of this makes no sense, right? Whatever this is or isn't, it was, I'll tell you what it is. It wasn't well thought out. NCMEC, make no mistake, they haven't never advocated to keep an offender out of jail. Now, by proxy, they're there to get to the bottom of the scenario. If that means this victim has done something, said something, or whatever that makes the case untriable, or because of the details of the statements, it never even goes to court, then yes, by proxy, Nick Meck kept someone out of prison, but justly. This is a real problem. None of this makes any sense, and this isn't even the level of thinking you would expect any of these people to give it. First of all, this is not scholar level thinking, but it certainly is above true crime level thinking. What do you mean? You mean to tell me this lawyer is actually going to take money to put someone in prison and then later on in the day go to trial to keep a sex offender out of prison? And I only say a sex offender because, well, why, Benny? Well, to take a case like this would mean you have the qualifications. You telling the world, I will take this case, I will take the complainant's case and try to logistically move it through the court for $2,500 to get justice for her. Meanwhile, and I'm reiterating myself, meanwhile, you're going to spend every other day of the week making sure probably justice isn't served for other victims, right? Man, look here, you can miss me with all that, you dig? Straight up. I love all of y'all individuals. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Goodbye.